Let's do this.
Whoa.
I got it.
All right, what's going on? What's going on? The YouTube Outlaws, welcome. Grab a chair, pull on up, turn the volume up. Hope you had a chance to listen to the show last night with my two brothers
Live
on the Warrior Report, right? Hope you
Yeah.
had a chance to get in on that, some of that goodness, right? Tonight, the People's Network presents Outlaw Radio, right? And we're doing this Thursday night edition.
Outlaw.
I am Brother Talk to Teach, Listen, and Learn, your truth transfer engineer. Awesome, the most asshole of many. We got full throttle tonight. We got everybody in here, man. So y'all tell the people something good, man.
Peace. How y'all feeling out there? How y'all feeling? I am the black woman's lover, the black man's brother, coach, teacher, hood healer, your holistic health and wellness coach, Kamar Carter.
Yes, sir.
How y'all feeling out there? Yeah, but make sure y'all come get them Nature's Nature herb supplements. You can call me, 414-949-2122. Make it real quick. There you go.
I'm still just OJ Kelly.
Hey.
Juice! That's the juice! It ain't just OJ, it's the juice!
Further notice.
OJ / What's that, man?
Hey, the People's Network presents Outlaw Radio. What's happening with the underground? It is Outlaw Radio Game Tight. Tonight is the night where you can get involved, you can get your problem solved, or you go pay somebody else to handle your business. I don't know. It depends on where you are and where you're at. My name is Kevin Barnes. I am the world-class smartass, the militant with a microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement, a.k.a. the Negro Whisperer. I ain't perfect, but I'm worth it, right? So we do Outlaw Radio for us to get on Thursday nights. We are moving into the weekend, right? So you're going to be off work. We got a snowstorm coming. It is what it is. I hope you have something because, you know, the good thing, night show. So we'll talk about Game Tight. My sister Beverly Williams, it's on my timeline. All you do is jump in, right? Just jump in. She wants to call and talk about some MPS stuff tonight. But it's Outlaw Radio, man. We have an active phone line. The number is 414-231-9982. 414-231-9982. I got the whole band together tonight, man. Like I said, we start off with the Warrior Report. Shout out to my brother, Kamar Carter.
Peace.
He had a beautiful show last night. You better go back and listen to it. And I see a lot of people did.
Y'all better come on in.
Yeah, Mr. Terry called in. Our sister, Millie Queen from St. Louis. They host the Black Panther Corner on Blog Talk Radio. She called in. If you want to call in and be a part of the show, like, you know, we love to talk. Everybody on the show loves to hear the sound of their own voice.
Black wellness at its finest.
But we want to hear your voice there, but I'm willing to share. 29. Right. There you go. Get it in, right? So I got my brother OJ Kelly here with me tonight. I got Kamar Carter. I got Brother Talk to Teach, Listen to Learn. And myself, just old Kevin Barnes, right? It's my government name, right? So we're going to do Outlaw Radio Game Tight tonight. And I hope that this is a show that people can identify with. Because if it doesn't make sense to you, then I'll do it. I'll delete the show. I promise you, I've done it before. But like we always say, it's Thursday night, beverage, beverage, drink up, the weekend coming.
Libation. Stay hydrated.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was on the run. I ain't had time to grab nothing. You should have asked me. I'd have gave you a bit. Got enough to go around. Yeah, you ain't got no tequila. We want to do that. Well, no, we do vodka. We Russian, right? We with Trump now, right? We ain't So no, Game Tight. The show is Game Tight, and you know, since we talk to each other, since we have a family, and since we make it so that people of our cloth can listen to it, this is not a show for 80s babies. It's not a show for 90s babies.
They won't understand.
It's a show for Gen Xers. Right. You know, you got to be 40 plus to understand this, right? You know, you got to have some game about yourself. Well, game is something that everybody in the Black community talks about. How many people actually understand what game is? That's why it's called the show Game Tight. You know, I look at game as being savvy, being street smart, you know, having awareness. It's about understanding it, because you can't articulate something that you don't understand. And game is one of those things. So you use it against females. I got game, baby. I got game. You tell your partners, man, I got game. I got game. Well, does your lifestyle live up to the level of game that you proclaim? I didn't mean to rhyme. It just happens like that. You talk about you got game. Can you finesse your way out of a situation? Has somebody brandished a firearm and you was in a hectic situation and you were totally unprepared strategically? You had no clue of how to back up out of there and get away with your life. Because if you couldn't do that, then you don't have game. If you have a woman that you can't talk to, you know, and usually this is based on whatever lie you told her when you first met her.
I forgot what the representative said.
Well, what did he say? What did they say?
You always forget what the representatives say. That's why they remember every goddamn thing and ask you about it 6 months later.
Well, game
you're gonna say something.
Game ain't about lying. Let me
no, it's not.
Game is not about lying.
No, if you got game, you don't have to lie.
No, game is understanding. It's what we call it. That's why I said we speak the language of the people on this show. I don't have to water down anything. I'm unbought and unbossed. This is my platform. What's the disclaimer, Jason?
The views and opinions expressed on Outlaw Radio are solely those of the motherfucker that said it.
Know who to be mad at, right? So you can say whatever on here. I hope your boss ain't watching. Because if she is watching, she might be down.
I love that shit, yeah.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's free expression, man. It's where black men get to talk at. Shout out to 3041 North.
Yes.
Shout out to all the people who support us, man.
Come on, yeah.
If you're listening to the show, you're the MVP, because if I don't have support, then there's no need for me to do it, right? Like, because I'm not saying something that I should be saying. I'm apparently I'm on some bullshit. So
you know.
Well, right, but I'm on that too sometimes, and there still be people who like, I like that bullshit.
Yeah, on some bullshit too, right?
Hey, shout out to my little cousin Garcia. I mean, Christian Garcia, who I see on here watching, man. This is a good shot for you, young blood, man. Come on, we talking about game. Check the show out.
Game tight, man.
All right.
Game tight. Check it out.
Next Level Vegans, Rain Truth, the 414 Life with Ray Mendoza and Brother Jaquette Forte. They'll be back on here. Freshwater for Life Action Coalition shit with Robin Miranda and Chris Johnson with Kingfish MKE. The Black Panther Corner with Millie Queen up in St. Louis, always showing us love. I know she'll be in here pretty soon. We're simulcasting. Our YouTube is official like a referee whistle. It's the People's Network. We need the subscribers. We don't have the footprint. So let's get into it, man. Let's talk about game tight. Let's talk about game. What's game?
What's game?
Everybody got game. Everybody say they got game.
Mm-hmm. Everybody say it.
What is game? What is game? So we'll go from there to here.
All right. Go ahead.
OJ, what's game? Get your mic too, pimp your mic.
You know what? There's a difference between a person who's smart and who's intelligent.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Smart people can read a book and they remember that motherfucker.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
An intelligent person, you can show them how to operate that mixer right there, and you can go to Michael Jackson's house and operate that mixer.
Okay.
He can adapt to shit. He's got some level of intelligence.
Adaptability.
This game.
I wish I could snap both fingers like the phone.
This game.
So smart people understand, but people with game interpret.
Okay.
Maybe you just want to call in and give me an example about when you showed your game. The number is 414-231-9982. 414-231-9982. It's Outlaw Game Tight on a Thursday night. We're going to get it in.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Bull, what's game?
Yes.
You got game? Do you have game? What's game?
Oh, yeah, I got game.
You got that vegan game.
I got game. I got some life-saving game for you. You know what I'm talking about? But check this out, man. You know, remember when we was growing up, you know, when we was kids? Talk about, man, you ain't got no game. You ain't got no game.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, we used to look at it like game was being able to get over on somebody
and manipulate the situation.
and manipulate situations and stuff, right?
Right.
Now, even as we grown now,
Mm-hmm.
we can't do the same shit that we used to do. You know what I mean? Your frame of thought changed.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like I got to a point, man, where I had to understand. I got to a point where I had to understand that.
We got a caller already. Hold on. You early,
Sorry,
but you live on Outlaw Radio. Who this? Miss Woods to call in, and she's on point. So let me interrupt this, right? What we doing? Because the name of the show is Game Time, but I thought she had something very important to speak with us about this evening. So I apologize because I don't always plan ahead. I'm just ahead of where I plan at. My sister, what's going on?
Well, I have a campaign going on that I'm sure many people may not agree with, and it's called No NPS Taxes 2020. Milwaukee Public Schools is asking for $87 million of our tax money with the April 2020 ballot. I feel that currently, with the current, and there's most definitely discrimination. And based on their discriminatory actions, I think that as African Americans or even other folks of color or Caucasian who believe in equality should not give Milwaukee Public Schools $87 million until they acknowledge their discriminatory actions and take steps in developing some type of strategic plan to address the discrimination that occurs in Milwaukee Public Schools. Many people don't know that currently in Milwaukee Public Schools, there are 69% Caucasian teachers and only 17% or less African American teachers. NPS, I filed a complaint on Milwaukee Public Schools with the United States Justice Department based on the statistics that they gave me through a Wisconsin open records request, where I found that in almost a decade, double the number of African Americans in comparison to Caucasian employees. Caucasian employees, 290, American employees, 631. The main reason that I requested this information is because of being a 20-year teacher who is the face of Milwaukee Public Schools discrimination. And I need to know what was going on with Milwaukee Public Schools because I thought they had personally lost their mind.
Okay, now you know what the thing was about. You put a very important article up in the People's News Network. People, that's our sister group. That's the group that's attached to the show, and it was about the money. So we break down quality of education based on how much you spend per student. And you look at Milwaukee and you say, here's the second poorest city in the country, and their public school system is failing. So maybe they don't spend as much money per student as their suburban counterparts. But that's not true, because the average, I think, is something like 12.5, and we spend 15.5 on per student.
I saw that yes, on Facebook, because the media refuses to cover any aspects. Yeah, it seems that, and I mean, I have a bigger story, but it seems that the media in Milwaukee is on board with Milwaukee Public Schools, and then I found out that the owner, I think he's the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know if you know this or not.
It was 3 of them. Yeah.
Fagan, I think is his name. The owner of the Milwaukee Bucks, what they did was they got some of these business folks out here. Peter Fagan, because I put a story out about him on Facebook. And some other folks in the business sector of Milwaukee came together to try to assist NPS in getting this is like a task force, and getting $87 million from taxpayers. So I mean, I don't know who all the stakeholders are.
Well, I wanted to say this.
But I do know the media is refusing to approach this referendum in any negative way whatsoever. They're refusing to report this woman, Conan, who has written many articles from what I can see. I guess she is some type of accountant who looks at everything.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so MPS already has a budget of about what? 1 point, what is it? It's not, it's like, is it $1 billion? Like, what is it?
Right, I saw that.
It's like, so So,
I do a lot of research.
right.
And I came across that by happenstance. And I'm using that word happenstance for a reason because I also want to tell you how wasteful in Milwaukee Public Schools is in these two situations. And they seem kind of, strange, but it did happen. To give you one example of how wasteful Milwaukee Public Schools can be, when I was a teacher, there was a Palmer, and it was transitioning to become Carver Academy.
Right.
They threw away boxes and boxes and boxes of brand new books.
Okay.
Yeah, and I saw them do this. Okay, and I know it's called something in business, return. It's kind of like something throwaway or something, but I think that's a waste of money.
Hey, can I build on this a little bit?
No doubt.
Also, another situation that happened that I came across by happenstance was when a church was trying to look at Edison. I don't know if you know what Edison is.
Yeah. I'm game tight. Yeah, I'm game tight. Yeah, I'm a former MPS teacher myself. So yeah.
Okay, when we went into that school looking at it because some kind of way it was kind of deal, they were going to sell it for the dollar, you had to pay for all of that something, I don't know. Do you know it looked like a ghost town in that school?
Edison was horrible.
They had instruments that had not been, instruments was still in the hallways.
It was horrible. Edison was horrible.
A library of books.
Yeah. My sister.
This was like 10 years after the school had closed. I think they're just wasteful. But go on, what were you going to say now?
Well, my thing has always been that central services is a black hole. And I just, one of the reasons I stopped working for MPS is because I don't deal with bureaucracy. I have to go through the bureaucracy. And every office I went in, nobody knew what I was talking about. They sent me around the building. And I said, this is all a tremendous waste of my time. But
right.
I want to say this because we talk about the money, because it all comes down to the money. If we're spending more than average on our students, and we're spending more than our suburban counterparts who are like actually out achieving us in terms of academic achievement and standardized testing, and you have a great percentage of schools that are failing, then that should show you that there needs to be a fiscal kind of audit. Like, we need to figure out why we're wasting so much money. And if we're putting this amount of money, now you just take their core budget funded initiatives that also people get on board with MPS, Boys and Girls Club, community-based organizations. They have millions of dollars in grant money. There's programs within the schools that operate independently of MPS. So we're talking about, you can amp that up to about $18,000 a student. Why are we still failing? Why is our school system still not preparing our Black children for the workforce, right? Like, so they graduate from high school with no real skills, right? And I think Biggie Small said it best: either you're slinging crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot, right? So you either get a scholarship at that school to prison pipeline. My boy, right, you said you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Man, I want to build on this a little bit. This is a very important subject, and I want to build on it from my point of view, right?
Okay.
You know, the holistic point of view of it all.
Okay.
Parents should be pissed. We should be raising hell about this, right?
Because it's all powered by the property tax levy in the first place.
Because check this out, right? It all trickled down to the kids. Our brain need nutrients to function, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, since this money is lacking, we also lacking with the food, with the lunches. There's some bullshit lunches going through these schools too. Though. You know what I mean?
They're free.
Well, but this is what Steve.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, they had to been paid for somehow from somewhere. But what I'm saying is the lack of money in the MPS system is trickling down to the food. We're getting less nutritious food.
Well, we're saying there is no lack of money in MPS. They're getting more per student than any district in this state.
But
why are they still failing?
Okay, exactly. So let me finish my point.
Right? You're right. I jumped off the bridge.
So let me finish my point. Now, what I was getting at was, you know, the brain needs certain nutrients for it to function right. Right. Your brain is an organ, just like everything in your body. Now, if they feeding our kids food that our brains ain't getting the food, I mean, the nutrients that it's supposed to get, we ain't getting the magnesium that our kids are supposed to get. They ain't getting certain supplements that they need. So they're not learning well also. I mean, I'm just saying that trickles down. It starts with the food.
But you know what, my sister, I do want to say this.
What I want to know
So parents should be upset about this, is what I'm saying.
Kind of analogy, but I mean, analogies to what? You're talking about the food that the students are getting, which NPS describes themselves as a school district where 98% of the students receive free lunch.
Right.
That's how they describe themselves. So I mean, so you're saying that they're. I'm just trying to get the analogy.
What I'm saying, I'm with you. I'm with you on this. I'm with you on this. But like y'all was just saying, like there's plenty of money going around, but it's trickling down to our kids. It's not trickling down to our kids,
right, it's not.
to where they should need it. Like I think the meals should be more nutritious. They should allocate more of this money towards that. Is what I'm saying. I'm not saying nothing against what you're saying. I'm with you on that.
And her point was they want $87 million additional dollars in like additional funding. Why, when you already have, $1 billion budget, and you're spending more per student than any other district? Why then do you need this $87 million and you want the taxpayers to pay it? Because don't get it twisted. Our school system is powered by the property tax levy, which Mayor Barrett has figured out a way to get tax incremental funds, which further borrows against that as well. That's why we have the trolley to help.
Because you draw up using the money for that.
Well,
and they used to blame it on the teachers' unions because Milwaukee had tremendous benefits for employees.
Yes.
And teachers' union was strong.
Mm-hmm.
And they blamed a lot of the the teachers'
not
union
strong anymore at all.
It's not anymore. But they used to blame it on them for the
Skippy Walker was a union
and everything. But it's like she's saying, like a lot of like he was saying, that was a valid point. Nutritious meals. I used to see commercials all the time when I was a kid about kids can't learn when they're hungry and stuff.
Right.
And not only that, and she's talking about throwing away books and stuff like that. You know how much
wasteful practice.
Yeah, exactly.
And then leaving those buildings open,
with nobody in
them.
Right.
And it's just like you renting a home and you ain't got a tenant. The property tax is still rolling.
And who bears the burden? The taxpayers bear the burden
on these houses in these cities. In the city of Milwaukee, where Department of Public Works is like, you'd see a fucking street sweeper once a season.
Right.
You know what I mean? Streets are really, really bad. People complain about the streets, not everywhere. So now where you got a lot of these failing schools where the money actually goes to that school, like if you ever buy a house, they'll tell you what school is in there.
The school is part of the equation of how much it costs.
Right. You know
what's
what I mean?
local, right.
So if you keep asking for money for these schools and you ain't doing nothing with them, why you keep raising my taxes and already my house is in a bad place and I can't get good equity or resell it for nothing?
What about academic progress?
Right. What about it?
That as well.
The article that you're referencing that I put on the People's New Network Facebook page, this woman, Conan, and I had never seen her article before until I came across it. She said, the children, she gave a percentage of children who cannot read, the children who are not able to do math, and she said, and then, Milwaukee Public Schools are already getting a large amount of money, and they're not even showing any type of academic. I have to give them kudos. The school, he was being.
They ain't got nutritious meals since before we was.
Why are they still asking for this $1 million?
So wait. Are we really asking that question though? Are we really asking why they're asking for more money? Are we really asking why they are misappropriating the money that they already get?
I don't think she is. I think she's saying don't give it to her.
No. Because
she's steadfast in what she wants.
But we know why. We know why. Because it's corruption.
Keep jobs.
It's corruption going on.
It's like street projects lasting 10 years.
Absolutely, it's corruption. So we really know why already, right? And so my question is this, because I totally 100% agree with everything you're saying about the mismanagement, about the discrimination. I agree that we shouldn't give the $87 million where they're asking for it. But then my next question is this: what's the alternative? Like no.
Do you really want to hear what the alternative is?
No, I do. I do. Because I want to know what the solution is. What should we put our support? Because negatives don't always work. We shouldn't do this. I agree, but then we should do what instead?
Go ahead, my sister.
Okay. Tell me this. I want you to answer on this. And I could say, you know, the new superintendent. Now, being someone who was in the fold of NPS for 20 years, okay, they keep bringing in new programs. So every you look around is something new, which is, you know, that's the way it's supposed to be in some ways. Okay, they hire these retirees who give them some kind of title. Okay, that's a wasteful salary to come into the schools and harass the teachers. The same person within a decade has been a mere player in NPS for more than a decade.
Keith Posley.
You know, that if they get rid of the administration and start fresh, possibly we will see some positive changes. That's what I feel.
Now I got something else too. I got something else for you. Because a lot of people don't know this, but I do because I'm extensive with mine. Your mother was Jerry Ann Hamilton, who led the NAACP. She is. I mean, this question about the NAACP in Milwaukee and the Urban League and SDC, because these groups are ineffective in the face of what has really got to. And I know what happened with OIC, and I know, you know, I've seen CYD deteriorate, and I've even seen SDC lose all their contracts. But your mom was over the NAACP when it was actually mobile, when it was actually polarized.
Thank you for saying that.
Well, no, because now we always say, well, where the hell is the NAACP? So this was her mom.
I know. But you know, there's a story behind that. I will tell that another day. But yeah. There's a story behind that. There were some folks who did some things behind the scenes. It was very ugly, and they wanted that NAACP branch, and they got it, and they didn't know what to do with it. And then that includes, and I'm not going to put names out here, but the folks who took over after she left, they didn't know what to do with it.
Exactly.
And, you had community brainstorming. They were also involved. They thought that they could run the NAACP. There was a lot of involved. A lot of folks involved in that.
Well, I'm up on my thing, so.
She was the one who fought for NPS. I can remember the year. She was one of the main ones who fought for NPS with when they were trying to take it over again. And there was also someone who was a part of that takeover. I'm not going to mention their name because I'm just going to leave it alone. And because I read about it, I did my research. I was like, what? But anyway, I'm not going to say it, the person's name. But during the time that my mother fought for Milwaukee Public Schools not being taken over by
Howard Fuller. I mean, we can call names on here.
No, someone you would never believe. I read it and I'm like, what? No, leave that alone. But anyway.
Well, you free on here. You can say whatever you want. You can't get blocked. So you call their name. I fight their kids. I beat their kids.
Right.
I have my Facebook page.
Okay.
Scan my Facebook page.
Huh?
I didn't put it on.
Zay, I don't think that
Facebook groups,
the
but
people who work.
But I will say that my mother, she did, fight for Milwaukee Public Schools during that time, and as far as the mayor taking over the school district and everything.
Well, Fred Royal. Who is running right now is at the head of the NAACP here in Milwaukee currently, and they have a secret office. Like, they don't have any funding, but they are entirely inactive. And I understand that the leadership on the level, I have to go back to Kwesi Mfume when he took over, and then we had the other brother after him, and it's just been a shit show, and none of it serves.
It's horrible. I mean,
Benjamin, what was his name? Benjamin
Watson?
Yeah.
Benjamin Watson?
Benjamin Light.
Overweight.
Yeah. So my sister, I want you to be a part of the show. That's why I said I had to get a phone, because you was the first one to tell me, get a phone. What the fuck you doing? She didn't say it like that, but she get a phone. Like, So I want you to be a part of the show. I'm glad you called in, and I want you to stay in the People's News Network. And ones who scared, Mandela Bars and DC Crowley who, when they wanted to run, came on Chocolate City when I was doing that 5 years ago, and I gave them life. But now they think I'm still with the Panthers, so they scared to come on. They don't want to do it now. And I seen DC going with some white boys, but you won't come on Outlaw Radio. Bro, what does that say about you? Now, you know, I make it personal because I'm over 6'2", and I can slang these things with the best of them, so I ain't scared of nobody. But I'm saying, I want you to stay with. I know they steadily block you.
Yes, take a stand today and always is my Facebook group, and I've been in Facebook jail numerous times, and I'm getting under the skin of some folks with some big money because of my opinions, you know. But they don't know I'm very resourceful. So, you know, as my friend says, boots to the, what do they say, boots to the ground?
Boots to the ground all day, every day. That's what we do.
My friend, he says boots to the ground.
If you get a chance.
Eventually that possibly will happen. But let me say this to you real quick. I want to ask some of you all on this show. Now, NPSA is paying Quarles and Brady's law firm $35,000. Does the board prepare for the referendum by preparing election notices and ballot forms that were out and outlining campaign practices for the school board and administrators? Do you go as a business, and you know, any business or corporation, they need attorneys? But what is your opinion on that?
Well, can I answer first? And I hope I can kind of put it along with my brothers. First of all, we as Black people are customers. We're not owners. And as a customer, you always receive the business end of consumerism. So we know with the property tax, we've seen the corruptions. I talk about community development block grant money on here. We talk about the federal allocation of $19 million to go towards rebuilding inner city infrastructure, which if you look around in the inner city of Milwaukee, you don't see $19 million. So, and I've been on the front lines with that as well. Been a community organizer, been a public school teacher, been all over social services. I'm all over the place like bird shit. So I can tell these people, I understand, I've been in the rooms. So when it comes to MPS's fallacies, of course, it's a waste of money. It's a fiscal, it's those old secretaries that work down there that sit in the offices that answer those phones. It's a waste of money. Right. So yes, it's a waste of money. It's a waste of money. Y'all got something?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead, OJ.
You know, those people who
Pimp the mic.
Those people who work for NPS, they don't think that NPS is going to survive. This is a last-ditch effort to hold on to some jobs and get some money out of this, because the private schools, they are taking over education in the city. People who would like to see that
charter schools,
they're taking over education. Kev, you can open a private school
right now,
Outlaw School.
I could,
and you can get kids to come over to your school, but you get to pick and choose what kids you get.
Right.
So now, when you advertise your school, you can say, we've got 98% graduation rate because you chose kids who was going to graduate no matter what school they went to.
Ask Michael Bonds.
NPS got to take murderers.
Right. 53206. Right.
They got to take murderers. They take people who are literally going to go to prison for murder. Yeah. They got to take people who haven't been diagnosed with mental illnesses that they have. They got to take people who not going to succeed in school. Like, you can't save everybody. Some people just want to watch the world burn. And a lot of Black people use NPS as a daycare center.
They do.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And so now those people at NPS knows what's going on. They see this because people like you who actually care about the education in school question that all the time.
Right.
And what happens? That's just why, like, I always say, like, I have to vote Democratic. I have to register myself as Democratic in the state of Wisconsin because you can't vote across party lines.
Right.
But there's a lot of things, like I tell Black people all the time, Black people are really conservative people because you don't like bureaucracy and I don't either.
Well,
and what is bureaucracy is big government.
Right.
People who have jobs that we don't need them to have.
Right. But also we are conservative and we liberal because I'm conservative about pedophiles, but I'm liberal
conservative
about
about that.
prostitution. Like I think prostitution should be legal, but I think you should burn pedophiles in fire, right? Like so, black people based on the Lord. We ain't politically.
Well, that's considered conservative because liberals are trying to say, "Oh, that's a sickness."
Right.
No, that nigga needs to die. No, I'm gonna say
You already did the disclaimer.
Kill that nigga.
My sister, make sure you stay with us. Like I said, I want to give you a chance to finish before we move on.
Okay.
Tell us what your ultimate point is. What do you want to say to my audience about what's going on with us in this city?
Oh, wow. Well, basically, as I was saying, coming from schools, and a lot of people don't even know, but some of those schools that were listed on the succeeding list from Lucky Public Schools were schools that do not even take students who have special education needs. A lot of them have special education needs because of economic deprivation. And some of those schools take all these kids who they consider quote unquote the good kids, and then they leave our boys, especially, because I taught boys, 10, 12 boys, first or sixth grade or whatever, for years, who had these emotional behavior problems. They leave them in NPS, and NPS goes to do with them. And this 87 million that they're talking about is to do something as far as hiring more teachers for music and all these other kinds of specials and things like that, which they should not have let them go in the first place.
Right.
And the reason why they let them go is because they were trying to hire their friends or all these retired administrators. That
Big government.
You have a teacher on your panel, someone who's a former teacher, these retired administrators and giving them all these little whimsical titles to go around the school district and making all these six-figure salaries.
Well, I'm the former teacher that you're speaking of. I'm the former teacher. I said I'm the former teacher that you're speaking about.
Ask her, what was the last time she's been to a high school graduation, an MPS graduation?
Like I said, my campaign is Texas 2020. And my campaign is based on corruption, mismanagement, and primarily discrimination because MPS has more Caucasians employees. And from 2010 to 2017, they terminated 621 African Americans and only 296 Caucasian employees. In 2016, they terminated 104 African Americans and only 23 Caucasians. 2017, 116 African Americans and only 23 Caucasians. And Evangeline Sculptor, she was the director of labor relations when these scheme statistics came out, and when the new superintendent took over, he made her the human relations director.
That's what's up.
So, yeah, if these folks go, then maybe we can come back to the table and talk about this money that they want. But right now, NPS, I don't feel is ready for their massive tax compensation.
All right, my sister, much love and appreciation for you contributing to the show. Stay with us, stay with the People's News Network. Keep putting it, because you won't get blocked on ours. You can put it up in our group. You can put it up there because the truth will set you free. First, it'll piss you off. So thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
All right.
Man, let me tell you something about game.
Go ahead, brother.
Just this
Game tight.
When the last time you been to a high school graduation?
About 2 years ago.
Do you remember when they announced the valedictorians?
Yes, I do.
Could you pronounce the motherfuckers' names?
Due to the fact that I was a North Division graduation, I could.
Do you know what?
It was a black valedictorian.
You go to MPS graduations and shit.
I'm talking about
and you can't pronounce their name.
Right.
And you know why?
They're Asian.
Well, or Indian.
Right.
Now, you being a teacher, you also know, because MPS is accredited school system, if you make valedictorian, you get scholarship. I don't give a damn how bad the school is. You are top 10 percentile of that school. Yeah. So you're entitled to money for higher education.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what? Too many black kids' education end at 3:30. Okay. They get off. They get to get on Facebook. They get to go play. They get to do whatever the fuck they want to do. The other kids go home. They read and count, my nigga.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Their education don't stop.
Here's the
And
counter
those
to that.
people send their kids to those schools to outperform black kids to get valedictorian
And
to get that money, bro.
so right now, my daughter is a senior at Rufus King, in the top 10 percentage.
They'll have some black
Sister.
They'll have some black.
I won't. No,
Friends
it
there,
ain't
too.
even that I want to talk. Just rewind the show. You know.
No, I'm saying that now. And
It's Outlaw Radio, right? You know what I'm saying? Thursday night edition. We talking about Game Tight. You know what I'm saying?
Get it together.
In case you're tuning in, we just had
That wine
we
got
just
you,
had-
man.
We just dude.
That wine got you.
You need to let it get you a little bit. You know what
I
I'm
wanted
saying?
some of that shit, but you got
Hey,
to pour it in
hey,
that big ass jug.
Hey, well, you know.
I'm like, goddamn, he just gonna drink all that shit.
Yeah, you know. The
You call
squeaky
that
wheel
bottle?
gets the oil.
What
know
do you
what I
call
mean?
that bottle? You know,
It's the $10 bottle. That's what it is. That's what it is. No, so
Go ahead,
I just
bro.
wanted to reset the show, man. Y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
no, because I've talked with this sister for a very long time, and so I did. I'm glad
You
she
did.
called. It kind of took us off, but of course, we're gonna get back to Outlaw Radio, no doubt. But you know, I think what she has to say is very important
Absolutely.
and poignant. And
I think even when I asked the question, I think what the answer that I got as to, because sometimes negatives don't work. You know, so sometimes you got to give the people another store to go to.
you got
or an
to,
option, right?
or be doing something.
That's what
Otherwise,
I'm
you're just bumping your car.
So that was my question. So if we not supporting that, and I'm with that, what should we be supporting?
Because you
Now,
know what?
I think
NPS gonna be open tomorrow.
listen,
I said audit,
with your tax money,
Jace.
you
I
got
mean, I said
Yes.
audit because I believe there should be an open audit
Absolutely.
about where the money goes, because you got to get efficient before you get effective.
and I don't disagree with that.
I think that's the only.
So, but who do you squeeze to make that happen?
Well, you're talking about the powers that be. So you talk about the man sitting next to the man. You know, who got game? Who's smart? Like, so this is why having a mayor.
When you're having a money issue, you got to go to Madison.
So listen, when we all sitting around and we playing, right? And it's your house, right? So you got the house rules and all that. It's your deck. And at what point do we realize this nigga full of shit? This game is rigged.
This right here, you got to have.
Example.
When you get tired of playing the game.
Yeah, it's
So
this
when
right here.
So when we gonna get tired?
When
It's
you
a
get
game.
enough people to say I'm tired. A lot of times people overlook it, or people don't say nothing, or people think what I say don't matter. Yeah, it do. It's just be like it's got to matter to you enough.
Shout out to Miss Millie Queen. She's in the chat room
What's
as
up?
usual.
What's up? What's
Going
It's gotta
nuclear.
matter.
She's going nuclear.
I was just having a conversation the other day. I'm motherfucking saying,
No,
You know,
go ahead.
white people, bro, when you mess with their money, they don't like that.
Right.
And that's the
what-
only thing.
And that's what white people do to other people because they know money is empowerment. And that's what they're doing with NPS themselves. These people got really nice jobs, getting salaries they don't deserve. They got departments that we don't need.
Mhm.
And they just know that the school system is failing. And they know people are in government right now on a federal level who don't even think we should even have public school.
Which once
Betsy
again,
DuBois is the fucking,
which once again is why I said you got to be efficient to be effective.
you have to.
So you got to
So
figure
the
out where the
audit
money's
is
going.
the thing. You gotta go to Madison with that audit. You gotta be like, you know what? Imagine you do something to a homosexual person or a Mexican person. Police can shoot me in the house, and it'll be 200 of my own close friends out in the street yelling.
Not in front of my house. I'll run their ass off.
You do
Get out
something
there
to
with
a
that.
Mexican, and they will round up 175 other Mexicans in 72 hours. No,
So I got a question.
homosexuals will too.
Homosexual do 300.
You got to have on the ground level people who actually care about something enough to actually do something to say, you're gonna lose your fucking job.
So
You're gonna lose some damn money if you don't fucking do something.
So when you researching, when you looking for a solution, right, and just the things that you talk, and you go, because one of the first things you're gonna do is you're gonna look for an example, a successful example, a model, right?
Yeah.
And so when you do all of that, and you say all of that, at the end of the day, where can you go back and point and say this is a successful model of what I'm talking
They
about?
can go to NPS before
Well,
1991.
They go to the other schools.
Listen,
you gotta go to
So
Margaret
wait,
College.
wait. And now be careful. When you name all these times, what you're telling me is at this particular time, our children was not being miseducated. Our children was being taught the truth.
We've
Right?
been miseducated.
Right. Our children was receiving healthy foods, right, during their lunchtime. They wasn't trying to pass off ketchup as a veteran, was a different set of problems, and some of them is the same problems that we've just accepted. So tell me a successful model of what you're talking about.
So
What
school,
year
school systems that's outside the NPS.
Outside of the United States.
Outside of the NPS.
Well, I would like to say this.
Yeah, outside of NPS.
I don't want to pinpoint. Like
that's
I want to say, I think what Marva Collins did in Chicago with the West Side Preparatory School in the 70s, and she took kids who were labeled, dysfunctional and special,
right,
and she showed you that these kids can be taught and they can learn.
Right.
I think the Marva Collins model in terms of being Black people is the only real, development in educational innovation in terms of how we educate our people. Because I think even in the 70s, the West Side of Chicago was still pretty rough.
I think it's about how they managed the school.
Miss Africa Sheed is saying what I'm trying to say a little bit more eloquently than I'm saying.
Okay.
And she said, burn it down. We need our own new system. You cannot remove the poison. So that's my point. As long as we keep trying to perfect their system is perfect when it eliminates us, when it holds us down, when it prevents. So for us to keep trying the whole system is fucked up.
She did make a point too during our conversation.
And I agree.
She talked about implementing some kind of curriculum that helps you understand you and your African lineage, and you're not going to get that at MPS. I don't care who you vote for because the system won't allow it.
We don't have enough private schools for all the students that we have in the city.
We don't got that many.
How about the ability to educate? How about the ability to educate our own children, right, without them imposing a curriculum?
And you know what we're gonna have to do that now. We're gonna have to put.
It's a curriculum you have to follow.
We're gonna have to put schools in buildings that weren't even built to be schools or build schools.
If you do that, it won't be accredited.
Those buildings sit like that for years because NPS ain't trying to sell the competition they're building.
That's true too.
Let's build a trolley.
They're not choosing kids who is going to fail somewhere else.
Depending on whether or not they're voucher schools, because the voucher schools will take special ed kids too.
But that's a different story.
But wait,
that's a different story.
But when you say fail,
kid,
when you
because
say
their education level is so low and they age out of the school and they haven't been taught.
So instead of them going and failing trying to learn trigonometry, right, or some third level English, why don't we teach them a trade? Why don't we teach them how to be auto mechanics?
You know what? Our high schools had that.
They had it.
I went to the School of Transportation,
and it's gone. Right.
That program left before I left Pulaski. I graduated in '91.
And with most trades, you need to know math.
I want to.
Every school in our city had those kids in the basement in that special ed room.
Now we don't.
If you don't have that,
hold on. Watching the show, the funniest part is I know y'all see Bull sitting there, and Bull was like, "I'm tired of dudes yelling over me." So Bull, grab the mic and say what you gotta say.
I don't know what to say, man. I mean, shit. I keep getting ready. I keep getting ready to say something. And listen,
we keep going. Let me tell you, it's like double dutch sometimes.
But I mean,
we're doing this right here, waiting for
I got to say, like, okay, you asked what model do we have to look after? Like you talk about NPS, how the schools is going.
Right.
Okay, well, it's a lot of schools that's effective outside of NPS. Why can't Milwaukee look at those cities, those school districts?
Well, because they don't have the same.
Oh, you mean other school cities and districts?
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, we do have models, but we just ain't.
Because the model has to be a public school.
The answer.
Another thing.
Socioeconomic conditions. That's why it's hard to compare.
But this
like us to our suburban.
Our economy is
wasn't we just talking about $87 million or something like that?
That's
something like that that's allocated, but it ain't.
It ain't allocated yet. They want it.
Right. Okay.
It's a referendum.
Okay, but they still been getting a lot of money.
It ain't $1.5 billion. Yeah.
Even the money that's allocated isn't going.
And what I was saying earlier, it's a lot of different reasons why the MPS shit ain't working.
It's not just monetary.
One of them is the food. And without my point earlier, what I was trying to get at is that, you know what I mean, it take us parents too to look at ourselves.
Okay.
We got to get the fuck up and be heard too. You know what I'm saying?
School budget
if we ain't saying nothing, if we don't ever say nothing, that just means that we agree with what they doing. And they're gonna keep doing what they doing. You know what I'm saying? So this is just one of the things. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this is the solution, but it's one thing. Like I said, the brain needs nutrition. They ain't eating right at school. I mean, they ain't eating right at home. So at least they getting the money there. They can feed them right at school.
Money goes to so much other stuff.
Let me go to the phone number.
Yeah.
So people can know 414 231-9982. It's Outlaw Radio. We're talking. We actually started off with Game Type. I had my sister call in because her and I have talked for a while about what she wants to say, and I just brought the phone number in. But I want to go even into a different direction because I'm salty about something. Like I'm in my feelings about something. Right?
Let's talk about it.
I'm tired of Lonnie Love. Like I've had my fill of Lonnie Love. If you don't know, first of all, I don't watch these. Yes, I don't watch these fake ass morning shows with these all female, all estrogen panels, in which you got a couple sisters on there, but most of the time they're tokens. A couple of them are sleeping with the enemy. I'm not going to go into that, but Lonnie Love is. Let me set this up correctly. Lonnie Love is a big fat black woman. No, what it is. And when I get to the end, a woman, which shout out to all the BBWs. Ain't nothing. Look, I'm a whole, what you say, Jason? Sometimes they like to play on the front porch, right?
A little front porch.
Right. So I'm not against fat people at all. Even Lonnie Love. Lonnie Love has a position in which she is on this show, The Real, and she has caught a white man. Now, this is the backstory on her. She has a white man who, and she admitted he's never introduced her to his family. He's an actor. He's unemployed. He has no IDMB credits. He's basically living off her real salary. But she said he loved me so much better than a black man ever could. That was the first strike.
Did she say that?
She said it. She said, I was tired of being disrespected. I needed a white man. This white man knows how to. She cried on the air and said, I found love, y'all. And I'm telling all my sisters, go get y'all a white man.
What?
Now, so we continue to where we are at now. And then her latest thing is she said that black men, successful black men, actually don't know how to be faithful because our homes are so broken because we come from slavery, and successful black men don't know how to treat black women. Now, the context of this situation is Kevin Hart, who was caught cheating on his wife, Joe Budden, who said he was caught, he said, well, I worked so hard, I wasn't at home. Joe Budden said he understood Kevin Hart, whatever. But she, once again, came out and said, black men just don't know how to love us. And I want this big chicken sandwich eating broad to understand this. You stop jumping on the white man's network giving broad statements about black men because you have no idea what you're talking about. Listen, it's not about whether we all know we come from slavery. We don't blame that on our dysfunction in our community because, first of all, the dude who you with has a lot to do with why our community is dysfunctional, okay? And secondly, you don't judge a man based on where he comes from. You judge him based on his relationship with his mother. If he didn't love his mother and receive love from his mother, it's going to be hard for him to love anybody else. That is it, point blank, period. So I want her big greasy ass to shut the fuck up and stop talking about black men. If you have a white man, do what you do. Get your money. Do what you make pasty love to him. Nobody cares.
Kev. Don't add to the black man, black
Kev, you know what? Our name out your mouth.
Pasty love.
I'm gonna go. I'm not going to disagree with what you said about a man and his mother, but also this happens too. Sometimes a woman will be with a man who don't feel like she's worth it.
Okay. Well, she got daddy issues and you got mama issues.
I'm just saying, sometimes you're not the person for that person. Sometimes you're just in the meantime and in between time.
You just want to get done up.
So now, you didn't love me. Black men don't know how to. Baby, he wasn't the one for you.
He didn't want your
You played the numbers. You'd have found somebody for you.
And then most of the time, you need to work on yourself. Heal yourself so you can get yourself.
Who's the common denominator?
Even if you don't have to work on yourself, sometimes you don't.
Whenever it's a problem, man, we all got a place in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Find your place and fix
it. You take two people to fuck up.
There you go.
Right. So I just want Lonnie Love. Okay.
I don't agree with that.
One motherfucker can fuck up.
But did everybody else? Hey, but did everybody else? Hold on.
It rhymed and everything.
But did everybody else choose to fuck with that one motherfucker?
I only robbed you because you was flossing.
Listen, man.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's always 2 sides.
I got you. 414-231-9982. What's up to the underground? Northside.
Lonnie Love. I did not know that was. That's a new one though.
It's Googleable.
That's I know who the bitch is. I just ain't never. I don't listen to I work first shift. I don't get to see.
I do too.
Talk shows and shit.
I do too, but I take time to understand.
You know what I mean?
Saying what?
You know what? Yeah. See, that probably had to been something you just came across because I don't go back.
No, it's out here. She's been doing it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I don't. Man, a lot of times this celebrity shit, bro.
Hold on, we got somebody. Tammy Royal. They're talking to Miss Africa.
They're going back and forth talking about the homeschooling situation.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes, bro, man, I don't like celebrity shit. I really don't too much care about it. Because there's people out here saying the same shit who ain't celebrities. Motherfuckers be on my timeline every day.
Well, I want to ask y'all this.
I'm with that because that's celebrity worship. The fact that one person's woes, troubles, mishaps mean more than the next person because they have money.
Fuck that bitch.
Fuck them, man. Listen, this celebrity passed away. You had 3
Just
motherfuckers die 3 blocks away from your house.
That's what I be saying. Y'all give a fuck about what somebody who rich and or famous saying, and y'all always rest in peace.
They say that too.
All of this bullshit and be like, yo, you know how many people that have been working their entire life who ain't got no fame or fortune?
Real talk.
Who been working for your well-being, motherfucker?
Why
and you RIP and these people who live states away and ain't did nothing to directly help.
Or indirectly.
Hold on. The only reason I reference
some of them gay to Trump.
The only reason I reference Lonnie Love as a celebrity is simply because we have to be honest that the celebrities they kind of influence opinion.
Absolutely, they do. Pop culture.
So when we talk about a sister who's sitting and her platform is great, where she's sitting at is influenceable. So
to white people,
well, no, to sisters too, because a lot of sisters watch this and
I don't give a fuck about
lonely
black bitches looking at that shit saying
I'm not gonna call them that. I'm gonna say sisters who don't have a man.
I care about when white people don't actually personally know black people.
Well, she's not.
They don't know none.
She's not white. She's black.
I know.
So
no. That show ain't getting money because of black viewers.
Well, it is partially.
It's getting money because of white viewers.
Well, we watch it too.
And because
a lot of black people.
You watch it too, but
a lot of black women watch the real.
Bro,
what are y'all talking about?
You
are black.
We're 13% of the population, family.
Charlamagne didn't give you no mold of his book.
More white people are watching that than blacks.
Let me tell you.
Did you see that?
You'd be in danger. No, I don't know.
We talked about it last night.
You can't be on some shit like that.
Talked about
telling white people shit like that, and white people's only view of black people is what they see on media. You can't do that. Now that's why people at home saying to themselves, God, can you believe those niggers? The women can't get along with the men.
How we feel, because I know it's a lot of lonely sisters who are looking for an alternative.
Until we control our own image and have
that's what I'm saying, man. Fuck the black women who sitting there watching that stupid ass shit saying that.
You can't say that though.
Yes, you can, because if you fall for that monkey ass shit, that's on you, because you had a daddy, you had a grandfather, you got a son, you got uncles and brothers and cousins and teachers and everybody. You see 1,000 good examples of black men today, and you done listen to this bitch.
Stop letting them tell you
but
about
white
us.
people don't know niggas like that.
Time out. The duty of the uncivilized man is to teach this. I mean, the duty of the civilized man is to teach the uncivilized. If I run across a good sister who's perhaps maybe not, and I'm speaking in general, not myself specifically, because I'm taken, so y'all fall back. But I'm saying, if I'm single and I'm out here and I'm a man looking for a woman, she may be misinformed. The name of the show is Game Type, because if nothing else, that's what game does. Good game. Good game versus bad game.
Did we
finish going through game? Did you tell us about game?
I thought he did, but
no, he didn't. It got interrupted by the phone call.
Okay. Yeah, but I want before he goes, I want you always say you use your powers for good.
Absolutely.
Which means you have game. Real mouthpiece. You could go out here and put a wig on a pig and make it gig.
For sure.
You could make it do what it do, right? You could really go out here and pimp something.
Nigga, you old as fuck.
If I am, I'm 44. I say that all the time.
But damn, I keep forgetting I'm older than you, and I be saying that shit.
And shit, right?
So I'm saying, if you really have, listen, first of all, I have a daughter, right? So if I wanted to really just live without even accepting or I'm about to put 10 toes down and make all the rules of the game apply because I was raised on that. I know what that is. I know how to do that. But I choose because of free will to say no because I have a daughter. And if somebody does that to her, I'd be ready to blow somebody's head off. So I'm going to put out what I want to receive. So when I had an understanding, when I gained an understanding, I learned that I should hand that back to youngsters who are in the position that I was in before I actually gained my full fulfillment, right?
Looking at you OG status.
Right. So I'm not going to tell you nothing wrong, youngster, because I'm not getting excited by watching you fail. I'm going to put you up on some knowledge.
Right.
Check this out, little brother. Let me tell you this. So it's that kind of thing about using your power before, your power. That's you.
For good. Yes, sir. Yes,
whenever you see the opportunity, you got to plant the seed.
Right. You reap what you sow. So now, my sister didn't cut you off. He's right.
John, we used to think game was about getting over on people. It was manipulating somebody.
Right.
I could get this girl to do this. I could get her to do that. And then I was the dude that was considered to have all the game, had the most game because he had women. They called him a player and all that type of
shit.
He was. You know what I'm saying?
Player.
But then, you get older.
Boy, not a player.
Yeah. Then you get older and you realize, you know what I'm saying?
Now you're
really,
a child support.
all that way of thinking was some bullshit. It got you fucked up now. You know what I'm saying? And what's game now? Right. Game now is really how
she got game now because she know how to play the courts against your ass. She got to understand
now. Y'all go ahead and talk about what game is.
I'm just saying.
That was y'all. That was you and OJ.
So it goes down the way it goes down, brother.
We just took 4 times.
So how do you interpret what game?
Well, that's what I was getting at.
Okay,
go ahead. Get
out. I'm
for the third time.
I'm sorry.
I know y'all wasn't, but you know what I mean. But then check it. Game now is it's about what's life.
Okay,
what's life real? You know what I mean? How do you when you start getting older? You need to know what to do so you can make it to be older. Like right now, I'm into the holistic wellness field.
Right.
I want to know what can I do to improve my life later.
Okay,
that's game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Real life now. You know what I'm saying? And this game that I got now, like. All the women want to hear this because it's some real shit now. You know what I mean?
You get some meat behind this.
And we back, like I say, back then we used to think that the game was about getting over, doing all that shit. You know what I mean? And we figured everybody else was squares. We called them squares.
Yes, sir.
But really, they had the game.
Right.
Because they knew what to do early. You know what I mean? Their parents got them online. My mother didn't do a bad job either. I just chose some other shit.
You know something bad, sir.
But that's what I think game is. Game now is what can you do now to better your quality of life?
All right, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Talk
sir.
to Teach. What you got for this game thing, man?
Man, game type, right? For me and my understanding of it, game ain't never changed. Right?
Okay.
Our understanding of game has changed.
All right.
So we starting to understand more things. When I remember just coming to the age of where I start understanding pimping, and I couldn't understand for the life of me how come a good nigga could hardly get a woman to get up and make him breakfast, right? But some nigga can talk you into going out and risking your life and bringing back all your money and then making him breakfast.
I wasn't talking about you talking about the mother dude.
I wasn't talking about you.
Oh, you talking about the
we gotta fuck this little shit. We gotta fuck this shit up.
You wasn't born yet. So
what
anyway,
you mean, Cody?
That was a quote.
No, I'm fucking with you. So that's to me, that's always been game. Is game is making another motherfucker accept your definition of reality. Right. And there's a micro and there's a macro. So for me, I always took it to the next level. And you look at the macro. So now game is a motherfucker that can piss on your head and tell you it's raining.
And you believe.
And you say, okay. Game is
that's the nigga you was talking about.
Game is making you give up 10% of your salary, right? Because they tell you they in between God, and in order for you to go, you need to holler at me.
Man, why you go?
You see what I'm saying? You need to holler at me with this loot. That's game. But that's minute, right? Because we got some white dudes in office right now that did 9/11. They blew up the shit. And every scientific method or researcher or expert will tell you that the building imploded, right?
Right.
But they got game because they ain't say, fuck what you talking about, fuck your facts. Al-Qaeda did it.
Right. And
Right?
we blew that shit up.
That is game.
That's game. That's game. Good
You
game.
ain't got that all.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing about our language. You know what I
That's
mean? Like,
game.
we could take one quote and take it a whole bunch of different ways.
Not even a quote, just a word.
The game is
That's what
sold,
I'm saying.
not
You know
told.
what I mean? Like,
That's
you
why
could take
I
this same
hate
that
when
one
people
word.
use the word player with where you, how you live your life.
George Bush is a player.
You got George
What?
Bush.
Donald Trump is a player.
He is.
You know what? I was telling motherfuckers
Come
the
on
other
now.
day.
He is.
Come on.
He's
I
rich.
don't like
all.
to sit around and talk bad about Donald Trump. It's not that I want to protect him or nothing, but
He's a player.
I'm not and a gangster. But
For sure.
Yeah,
but
he
He
showed
just
that.
blew some motherfuckers
Wait,
up.
wait,
Last
showed
year.
that.
right.
The
That was
Pope,
gangster
the
shit.
Pope is a gangster.
He'll
The
pull
Pope
Pope.
is a gangster.
He'll pull
Family
that
is a
trigger.
gangster.
Why sit
Obama
around and
was
talk
a
about
gangster.
dude left and right all the time? Oh, he's so stupid. Oh, he's so stupid. Oh, he's so stupid. Let me get this right. A billionaire
Okay.
who's a free criminal,
Mm-hmm.
been raping bitches, found a way to win the presidency,
Raping bitches.
been raping bitches,
Little
found a way to win the presidency,
free bitches. Like not even.
found a way to win the presidency, gave all his family jobs that none of them was qualified to get.
I'm so glad we
They
don't have
making
corporate
money hand
sponsors.
over fist. He been impeached, still in office, and went to war just so he can say I blew some shit up before I get out of here. He's stupid.
That's game.
He's stupid.
That's
Look,
game.
we have a lot of people actually right now watching the show. I want to give y'all the number because you can call in. Our show is fully interactive. Subscribe to our YouTube page. The number is 414-231-9982.
Good call, because we got some people that's disagreeing. Call.
Well,
Let's talk about it.
because I see that, and I
Yeah,
see people are having
let's
conversations
talk-
up on the
talk
comments.
about that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. No, we don't. You know what?
I mean,
I don't
alright.
mind if you disagree. Just don't disrespect the platform. That's all I ask.
It's blood cloud.
And that's why I said I was mad at Lonnie Love. And
I didn't even know who she
Right,
was.
and
And so
exactly.
Thank you for enlightening.
Outlaw Radio is about people of color having opinions and being able to state their show. Once again, the number is 414-231-9982. The best that ever did it and got away with it, man. The fairest nigga to shit behind 2 pair of shoes. It's your boy Kevin Barnes, a world-class smartass. I ain't perfect, but I'm
Hey.
worth it. And I'm telling y'all
Yeah.
to get involved, right? So
They posted a number. That's what's up.
yeah. So anybody who wants to like say something, and y'all know this phone line. This is why I put it in. I put it in for the people. I did want to say this because my point about Charlemagne and this kind of thing, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I think is it too much gay? Like it's Black America. So at a time,
That's why he's successful.
well, it's not just him. I mean, just the perspective of it, because at the time we see the alpha male, the alpha Black male
We're
is
getting too liberal.
is a thing of the past. And I'm gonna tell you what a alpha Black male was. An alpha Black male was a cat like my pops who had no excuses, only achievements. It could be cold, it could be hot, it could be raining, it could be dry. Nothing mattered, right? He was going to adhere to the bottom line, which meant the lights were never cut off, the gas was never cut off, the mortgage was paid, and my brother and myself ate, apparently. Look at us, right? So those were alpha males. Those were the alpha males who, and my dad wouldn't even have stood, he'd get mad at me. Don't stand with your hands on your head.
Right. They catch this shit right on anything.
My father was this kind of dude. If you were somewhere laughing, just me and say we all sitting here laughing,
too much
and he
giggling.
was over there, he would come up to us and he would get in our ass and he would tell us, there's only 2 reasons for you to always be grinning. Either you gay or you retarded. So which one do you want to do?
I love your daddy.
Listen, my father put my brother out the car. For
Oh,
too much giggling.
shit.
Get him out. Get out.
What's so goddamn funny? Right?
Oh shit! I thought Gus was bad. I thought my
Oh,
daddy was
man.
bad.
I'm just trying to tell
Holy
you.
shit!
Here.
So I said that to say there's, due to mass incarceration, due to the systemic ills in which they
Chemical
right
castration.
and come in and kind of just really broken down the Black family. The Black male is continuously
What up, Dre?
had to take a back seat, and I'm saying that me, myself, within my own. I am the man in this house. There's some things I compromise on out of understanding because I know a little bit more now.
Wisdom.
Because my mama and my wife are two different individuals, right? So I understand that the black woman has had to stand up and say, no, y'all was gone. We had to get educated.
Black women and pop culture driving that gay shit.
Right. Well, I just want to know. No. Are we too
black women and pop culture?
Black women don't own network. Black women don't.
Niggas don't shave. Niggas don't shave in prison. They don't. Only niggas who trying to look good walking around that motherfucker. When I was in prison, I didn't care about my hair.
Or you got a visit.
I didn't care about the way I smell. I didn't care about my clothes being wrinkly. And ain't no bitches in here.
Hey,
the fuck I'm getting cute fuck.
You got a visit.
Wait, no, hold on.
Juice, you got a visit.
He was in there.
You know, even when I'm on my visit, I'm coming to the visit like, bitch, grah.
Oh, fuck that.
I'm in prison,
and
bitch.
I'm shaving for this one.
Everything niggas do on the streets is for the fucking woman. Bro.
Yeah, but that's true.
So if
that's
women
true.
walking around thinking them skinny ass jeans is cute on you, if they walking around thinking you cute because your eyebrows arched,
how they know about
it? It's the pop culture. I just said women in pop culture.
Where did they learn it from?
Men don't do a goddamn thing
what
for
is the common denominator between a woman in Philadelphia and a woman in California?
If it wasn't for pussy, deodorant would go out of motherfucking business.
Well, that's partially true because I wouldn't care if I stayed. But no, I wanted to make sure.
If bitches say beards is sexy, niggas out here growing beards who wasn't beards. Niggas was faking like they was bow-legged. Niggas put shit in their hair. Niggas doing all type of shit for pussy.
I want everybody. Let's not yell over each other. So I want everybody. I get you.
I hate this shit.
I love the energy you bring. I love the energy you bring.
I hate this shit.
But I want Jay, go ahead.
No, I'm always say, because I don't disagree with what you're saying. But I'm always willing to peel back the next layer, right? See what I'm saying? So
I understand that.
So just when you talking, there are rules that apply. When you talking, there's a micro and a macro. The macro is usually the cause. The micro is usually the effect. So what you're talking about the effect. You're talking about the little Negroes.
Pop culture first.
Okay, but there's something that drives pop culture, which is called media driven. You see what I'm saying? So when you talk talking about news, black women don't control the Associated Press.
They don't.
You see what I'm saying?
Or YouTube or Facebook.
Okay, right. Or what blocked on Facebook, what's accepted on that's BET. So at some point or another, we're gonna have to stop blaming the effect and start blaming the cause.
That's why I said pop culture and black women.
What he said,
just like I said, like niggas will stop wearing.
Right.
I mean, that's true, but again,
women wake up one day and say, I don't want to fuck with no drugs.
Where do they learn?
Niggas who sell drugs will be faking like they don't.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this, because we have to break it down. Let me ask you this. So at what point or another did all young brothers decide, and this was some years back, we also saw it happen, from the East Coast to the West Coast, that we was on, what summit was this where we all came together and said, we're going to wear white tees? Wait. That's gonna be video. Music videos that black women put out.
No.
Who put those music videos out?
But you know what?
Come on now, Don't talk to me.
I ain't never been one of them white tees.
No, but that's you.
Hey.
But that's you. But we saw that.
Even when I was,
did you see it happen?
Even when I was,
and we didn't get it. And we get it from music video. We got it because it was more convenient. We could go to the store and get a white tee and be crispy right quick.
And
we out here on the street.
Look,
yeah,
you know what? I mean?
We the store started selling white tees.
They did, but like he said, if you in the spot for 3-4 days,
yeah, you go get a pack of tea.
That's the last bastion.
The store wasn't selling tea always.
Our culture actually dictated
a pack of tea.
Pop culture.
Okay.
Black culture.
So why didn't have to find
they had cheese. I was wearing t-shirts when I was a kid.
Black culture don't dictate pop culture no more. Pop culture dictates black culture now.
I would agree with that. Black culture, because let's be honest, white people are very bland. Like it's just bland. Because if you take music and you take what they did, classical music, and I like some classical music.
Me too.
But then you look and communicate within the church about what was happening.
We're gonna run at 12 o'clock tonight.
We're gonna do that. So
we're gonna take this.
But we put a twist on everything. There's nothing that hasn't been made better by black involvement. Yeah. So I guess my point in all of this is yes, pop culture right now in America It's detrimental to us. It is. Man, because there's such a thing as cultural homogenization. And I want to tell you what that is.
Who does that?
I'm going there. And in particular, if you look at black music, you have to understand that most of your favorite songs, Motown song, credit for something he never wrote. There are record companies that have robbed. And understand this: the song that we used to listen to in the jungle. You know what that was written by? Some poor South Africans. They had no clue. They formalized this. They formalized this harmony. They did everything they were doing with that, and some rich white South Africans robbed them of it. I watched a documentary where their family, and they were rewarded, but the family's been dysfunctional from poverty for so long that it just did no good. But they actually had to go back and find, because their father actually wrote the song. Mm-hmm. But this has been the Lion King. This has been some white guys recreated it.
Every show with a jungle, that's the go-to song.
Well, Tarzan. So I'm saying, yes, pop culture in America, because America is free enterprise. This is the great democracy. Right? It's about capitalism.
Absolutely.
Get your paper. So for a long time, the powers that be pimped us, because Smokey, now you get,
didn't stop.
You get Motown, in which black people more than ever got actual business credits. Berry Gordy then adapted to the
Smokey and Stevie
of them, and he pimped out a lot of black people. You look at Suge Knight. The greatest thing about Suge Knight is, and I've heard all of his artists say this, is you didn't get that bullshit deal with Suge.
No.
You got a real artist
and he
deal.
Said he took care of
the only
people.
problem was if you messed up, you got your ass whooped.
Yeah, but everybody to a man in that place said
you got paid.
Like, take care of people.
Master P was the same way. You got
Absolutely.
a house, you got a car.
Absolutely.
Well, Suge Knight's in the penitentiary via
that had nothing to do with music.
Well, it's just his deterioration, because he refused to do what Bull said last night, which is elevate your thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, instead of falling away from the spotlight,
you can't keep doing the same shit.
He didn't evolve.
He
didn't change with the time.
No, I'm just summarizing it. So what they did was like they always do. They found a way to take our talents, our brilliance, you know what I'm saying, and commoditize it and make money from it. Listen, you got to understand that was headlining. Our name was at lights. We could play at the Cotton Club and couldn't go in the front door and eat it. So they don't mind jump, nigga, jump. Yeah, because you got players that's getting a $250 million contract, but how much is the motherfucker making who can pay one dude who can sign that check? So again, we are just focused like some of the intentions. Some of us has good intentions. We really trying to, but let me tell you, don't stop digging, because there's a whole nother truth after the one that you just understood.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, but that's just like I was saying before, like, you know what I mean? Sometimes when me and you were just having a chicken before the egg. Mm-hmm. So it was pop culture and then the women thing. You can't be willfully ignorant forever. Wow. Like I was telling somebody, I was in a house today, man, doing work. And here's full-grown women. Their language, their vernacular is that of one of these ratchet-ass rap songs. Bitch, how you letting somebody with half your fucking age and half your education dictate to you your vocabulary? That's willful ignorance.
Once again, you missed the point when I said the duty of the civilized man is to teach them civilized. If I appear
Miss Fields.
Everybody can't have
game.
Well, this is what pimping based on. If I appear to have game, right? Somebody who's lost, I can then manipulate them. This is why you have televangelists.
Absolutely.
This is why you have Jim Jones. This is why you have
Jones
Town. Right? This is why you have. If you don't follow them unless they got that.
And you ain't gonna listen.
You gotta have that jizzle. You gotta have that.
The savoir-faire motherfuckers is telling you some bullshit.
Right. Hey, I want to know what y'all think about this white fool. Once again, my brothers here don't do pop culture. They don't. I'm an internet dude. I'm on the internet all day, every day. At work, I don't tell my supervisor, but I'm on my shit.
You just told me.
Right. Shut up, right? Jason. Shit.
Okay,
Kevin. My boss watching this show. Come on, man.
Damn it, Jason. But no, I'm saying Terry Gilliam. Monty Python or something. He's like, he's important to white people. Like black people don't actually give a fuck about Monty Python, like or like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like that shit we don't fuck with, right?
You seen it though.
Yeah. For cultural reasons. I need to know what the fuck it is.
You saw that nigga, but
for cultural reasons. I need to know what it was.
But he made some
gay opera.
That's what the Rocky,
it's a gay opera.
Right. But Monty Python is a little bit different. He's involved in that. At first, he criticized the Black Panther movie, in which he said, it's bullshit. They don't know what Africa is. It's made by people who've never been to Africa. All this kind of stuff. And then he comes out and said, I'm tired of white people getting blamed for everything.
Well, bitches, you in control of everything. What don't you run? Everything that you don't run, we at war with right now. Right. Everybody that ain't in debt to your banking system, you bomb it.
No.
You see what I'm saying? So fuck. Listen,
people don't know about the World Bank.
No, but dumb white people, right? You have no business. You know what I'm saying? Being ignorant and pink at the same time.
No, just like dude said, if you white and you broke, you done wasted your white supremacy.
Listen, who said that? The Paul Moon is a waste of white skin.
And you know what? Sometimes people like white people don't know. This is why some white people. This is why Donald Trump is president. There's two reasons why Donald Trump is president.
Even though he's
number one, the country is too soft. We're too offended by everything.
Too white.
People are all right. I'm sorry to cut y'all off, but I got a special call.
Okay.
I got a special call here. You are live on Outlaw Radio. What's poppin'? You tell me, man. DC Crowley, what's popping, man? You tell me what's going on.
Man, cool, man. I can't complain, man. It was like, you know what? I wanted to call in and say what's up here, listeners. It's been a long while. It's been a while, but been real busy on my
read all of them?
First and foremost, family was growing. Just had a daughter a couple weeks ago. Named
Pugs and
running
that.
for Washington County executive, running the city and the county. I'm really excited about it, man.
You know what, DC? We got to talk because I'm mad at you, man.
Why is that?
Man, because I thought you was juking my show.
But I gotta come back. That's one of the reasons why I decided to call in right away. As soon as you get me the information, but I'll be back on the show.
Well, no, because I know from the beginning of what you and people don't know, DC Crowley is right now. You are a state representative, right?
Correct. State representative, the 17th Assembly District.
Right, and I remember when you started out, and shout out to E-Dot, who's that's my people, who's your lovely wife, right? Shout out to E-Dot, and she first said, well, you need to talk to this brother, and we brought you on Chocolate City. You came down, you and Mandela, and I endorsed both of y'all. But I kind of felt a certain way. I'm like, oh, he got him a job now. He don't want to be on. He don't want to kick it with the Outlaws. So he don't want to talk to the people. I was pissed off about it. Said something about you. Don't listen back to the show. I might have said something bad about you.
All I'm gonna ask from now on is forgiveness. Sometimes when it comes down to people, sometimes we forget where we come from, and not necessarily on purpose. I haven't necessarily forgot where I come from, but it's making sure that you always go back and you talk to those same people because there's always a lot of people who have your back. You always have my back. When we chatted, but we had to have the time to really big on the radio, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. So, I'm going to make sure I'm committing to coming on the show sometime soon. I'll make sure that we get something scheduled so we can be face to face and be talking about the real stuff that's going on locally here in Milwaukee County.
And that's all I want, because we go back like out here. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, you just can't, right? So I was pissed off, but I ain't mad at you no more, man. I'm gonna start promoting your stuff again. I ain't stop sharing all your stuff. I was about to be real vengeful, man.
So the primary is going to be on February 18th.
Okay.
We have about 6 people in the race, so it's extremely important that folks come out to vote. And whether you live in the city of Milwaukee, whether you live in Oak Tree, whether you live in Bayview, Brown Deer, West Dallas, Wallace, Tulsa, really building a future equity across all of Milwaukee County and really make this a great time.
Because I know some people try to twist your logic, and you and I spoke via Messenger about a narrative that's being placed on you about you not being about the people, that you don't have black staffers. And so I want you to come in here and look into the cameras and talk to my audience and tell the truth and let them know what's up so we can know how to vote when it's time to cast that ballot.
Oh, absolutely, man. I was scheduling looking forward to going on the show. Appreciate you, bro.
No doubt, man. You back on my side now. We friends again. All right, man. Hey, kiss that baby, man. Kevin love the kid. Della, you on the clock. You better holler at your boy. DC has fulfilled his requirements.
Yeah.
Mandela, don't make me come look for you, bro. Don't make me
watch
come
out.
look for you. I'm gonna bring the general with me. You know how scared you was of it. I told the bull say, Kev, you gotta get the right energy. Kev, you always got this mad energy. Bull is mad.
I was just telling this nigga, I looked over at him, I said, bro, your ass be so mellow.
That's how he is now. I know the whole boy. So, yeah. So, hey,
like,
It didn't come overnight.
shout out to DC Crowley.
It didn't come overnight.
No, I was mad at him. Like I said, but I keep it 100 with the brother, man. I'm pissed. I feel some kind of way. So, yeah, man, game tight. I think DC had the game to call in and say, let me fix this with this brother. Because, you know, a little bit go a long way.
But, you know, that's important for our community, too, though.
Yes, sir.
Like, whenever brothers have an issue with each other, man, we
Let's
need to
do
make
it.
a call. We need to holler, man. Let's
Yeah.
iron this shit out so we can keep on moving.
Yeah. That's what Bull is my energy manager. Like, I be pissed. I be up here, Bull be like, hey,
Life
you
coach.
tripping, right? Because I'm trying to do the herbs, but I just leave him with the energy.
mellow and shit. He does keep some of his grass and drink.
Damn, I don't understand why you still upset.
You feel better,
Back in the 90s, you'd be ready to ride with me. So yeah, man, game tight, man. I was talking about. I'm sorry, and I cut y'all off because we were communicating. Myself and DC had hit me.
I forgot what I was saying.
I know, and I'm sorry. So I do that. It's live. You can't. It's live. It's what happens when it's live, right?
It don't even matter.
I was talking about Terry Gilliam. Terry Gilliam with his racist ass. I was talking about that shit with
Yeah.
And then he said, well, he was tired of white people, white men being blamed for everything.
Right.
I think that's where we were going.
The Monty Python thing.
Right. And so, if white men tired of being blamed, stop doing shit.
I mean, like he said, what the fuck? Everything that they don't run, they're at war about to get control of it.
To fuck that up too.
You can't complain about shit that
Well,
you
here's what
already
you say to
run.
him, man. If you ain't part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
You don't like what's going on, fix it. Start doing whatever work it is you could do to help fix it.
And the very first thing
And shut up.
The very first thing you can do to start fixing shit is to stop the motherfucking shit that's hard.
Now, who's Julie Fields? Who's she friends with? Because she has a lot to say. 414-231-9982. I can't read your. Got time for the foolishness. We're over. We had 2 hours damn near. I know we came on late. I generally don't like to give people, too much free shit. But this is Aldi's, and we got organic.
Yeah, she's been kicking
now.
it on there too, though.
Yeah. So if you got something to say, you want to call in, Millie Queen, you an outlaw. And look, I got my stickers. I found my stickers. I'm gonna give it to them after the show. But we're moving into this merchandising, so y'all get these hoodies. Shout out to Rouse Riley, man. The community
Come back out, man.
We got one Arsenio, Mike. We need 2 more. So we got to get to. That's why I brought back the
George playing, man. George fucking ass has been on this motherfucker.
Yeah, he's already
George
been here.
bullshit, right?
He's been here.
He's been here.
Yeah, I man, dog.
Brought his commissioner. So we talked about the
commissioner of the
kickball
joint. Okay, yeah.
Oh no, Outlaw Radio. Listen, Outlaw Radio does the damn thing, man. You could try to recreate it. You could try. Listen. Shout out to everybody who wants to do a podcast, right? You see us doing it, and you say, I can do that. If you see us do it and you say you're inspired to do it, it means one of 2 things. Either you saying, I'm inspired, or you saying, if his dumb ass could do it, I could do it too. So I don't know which way you coming from. So if you want to get, we
know which way you took it.
I choose inspired.
Here's the thing. Don't be scared to fail.
I choose. I'm going to choose. I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick.
That's why I be fucked up a lot.
Because you ain't scared to fail.
No, I tell people all the time, like, you know what I mean? I have highs and lows financially. It's because I don't mind investing in myself. I don't like trying shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like trying that. Some shit don't. But you ain't gonna never find out what will if you scared to do some shit.
Right.
I don't want to be working for a motherfucker till I die. Ain't no honor in that.
You scared to fail. You scared to try. You scared to try. You scared to succeed.
She said she can't do live.
I'm scared.
Well, you been commenting all night, my sister. You live.
Hold on, why you can't do live? My mom is saying no such thing as can't. What you mean? What you mean? Come on here.
Hey,
That's all good.
that's why I say don't be sitting at the crib criticizing us. 414-231-9982.
Come on, listen. Words mean something.
Yeah, we want the smoke.
Yeah.
He with the shit.
Words mean something. Come on.
Listen,
He
Boosie,
got time today, cuz.
the rapper Boosie had on a
He ain't
Kappa
fucking
shirt.
with me.
I want to talk about Boosie with his Kappa shirt. Yeah, once again, I'm on the internet.
The Greek Kappa.
The Greek, and he had the Kappa shirt on. He's not a Kappa, but I don't know who sold Boosie his shirt. Man, I wear whatever I want, but then he realized that it's thousands of Kappas, and there's a such thing as crossing the line in black Greeks. And see, when I was in what you call it, college,
You went to college.
like nobody can say it like
No,
that.
he went to college.
Right, I went to college. Right, no, I didn't just go. I graduated.
He did. He'll tell you. Hey, if you don't believe him, just
I'll
ask.
tell you about
He will
every
tell
degree
you.
I got because they all on Landway.
Yes.
I still owe. But I had my choice. I could have been. I'm not gonna say who I
He's
could have
smart
been.
anyway.
I'm not gonna say who I could have
In
been
spite
with.
of.
I could have been with because I was a football player. So I could,
Shaq stopped Kobe from doing
there
that.
was one. There was one who approached me and said, "Brother, we want you." And I said, "Nah, I'm kind of like a lone soldier. You know, I'm from Capital. I do my dirt all by my loan."
Yeah,
because
I'm already in a fraternity.
Right, I'm already in the
It's called
gang. Right, well, not what that wasn't what mine's called, but
Now it's the
right.
USMC.
So, but my thing is Boosie received all this like backlash, and then I want black people to understand what Greek fraternities are
They don't.
because we talk about the black boule. You won't do a damn thing. I'm gonna tell the truth about it because I've been there, and I went to the parties with two different groups, right? And the females at one treated me better than if I was,
Really.
I'd have went here.
My son Greek.
Okay. So you
Yes.
understand work basically. And I heard somebody say that all Greek organizations was black dudes who couldn't gangbang and they had to figure out something to do with their hands on pictures.
Now, well, I went to Jackson State and some of the niggas was gangbangers.
Well, that too. There's some gangster
There was some
ass
real gangbangers.
Greeks. Yeah, there's some gangster Greeks. And they'll show you that when they beat you and get put off the yard and get suspended.
Right, motherfuckers. Where they're at, them motherfuckers is.
Well, I said to them, I said this. I said, listen, I heard about y'all paddle because they wanted me to come. And I said, you know, you hit me on my ass with a paddle, I'm burning the whole frat house down. But they told me, no, brother, if we come get you and we want you, you don't go through that. We do that to dudes we really don't want to represent us. I was still
We not the weak.
Well, they didn't have enough weed for me. So
Right.
it was just like, I don't have to do that.
Not only that, you were still gonna be a part of that culture.
Well,
Right.
there's injustice everywhere.
Right.
That brother be on point. I have no clue why you're giving me the shut eye right now. Like
Because that has too much honor for you to use it in that situation, my nigga.
No, you good. Okay.
Yeah. Niggas ain't shit. That's better than fly.
Man, 414.
Is we going till 10 o'clock tonight?
Well, no. We're going to get up. I want to bring up Bootsy, and then I want to talk about Tiffany Haddish, but we do have Saturday coming. We got Saturday coming, so we'll do.
What is it? The mole? What is it? What is
No,
it?
well, I can't. I don't like to have to look at that either.
How did I know?
But I don't like. I would be okay if half the time you the ratchet bitch.
She ain't.
No, this bitch the ratchet bitch 90% of the time until she's sniffing up a white man's ass. I don't like
Or
that.
Kevin Hart.
I don't like that. She ratchet around Kevin Hart.
Well, who is Kevin Hart? Kevin Hart has shown us what he is, right?
Basically.
Yeah, he's shown. But I was off Kevin Hart when he went against Mike Epps. And he said, well, you a drug addict. That's why you. And he was in that position at that point.
And to Mike
And
Epps
then they
too.
found out what you said with you had to step down from the Oscars. Then you got caught cheating on your. See, this is what they do to black men. We'll put you up there, but we'll take you
And then
down.
everything Cat Williams said about him, that bitch was true.
Well, it's the same thing Mike Epps said.
Listen, that's why Cat Williams is not a super mega star because he tell too much truth. He done told you about Jamie Foxx. He didn't tell. Listen. Cat Williams.
He the one who
spits the
told
real.
us about going to that party and opening that door and was like, oh shit, this what y'all on?
Nigga said, you want to know who's secretly gay in Hollywood? He said, Jamie Foxx. You don't believe me? I'll tell you the motherfucker he fucking, and you can go look it up on Instagram. He'll tell you.
And I think with Kevin Hart now he's learned a lesson.
I don't think so.
Well, I think he has because he's just kind of been knocked down. They took him down a peg. But once again, it's all about you don't get too big for the people. When you get big for the people,
see, that's what I'm saying.
Lose.
I don't think he's gotten too big for the people.
Well, he thought he was.
Because
but they knocked his ass down.
That little show that they just gave him to like motherfucker asked me, did I watch that shit? Well, I'm not a fan of his, so I don't give a fuck what he do on a day-to-day basis.
Right, me neither.
I don't want to see that shit. How the fuck is that entertaining?
My only problem with Tiffany Haddish is this. Yeah, you're compromising the characters that you portrayed, and I've watched you. Yeah, some of the characters is a little squeamish, but my thing was the chicken.
It's all the same.
Wait! In the Ziploc bag out your purse, the red carpet thing, the fried chicken. I thought that was classless.
Right.
It was an insult to black people.
Right.
And then you wasn't doing nothing but
that's being a coon.
Then that was coon shit.
Right, and then we got on this morning. I listened to the interview, and she said, black people are the only ones who criticize ourselves. And the white man don't do that. I said, well, I'm saying to myself,
white man do. They call each other trash all the damn time.
She said that they did, once again, you are putting the white man on a pedestal, saying, why can't we be more like white people? My sister, let me tell you something. If you're doing something involved in entertaining, or you're doing something that influences how the masses feel, interpret, or view us, you should be held accountable.
Absolutely.
You should not be able to step and fetch it and dance a jig and have us not say anything about you.
Would you like
because the coon ain't
I probably would, but I'm wired like that.
A coon is actually someone.
I don't know if you thought I wasn't going to answer the
No, I didn't think you was going to tell the truth.
She does
Don't leave Tiffany and her chicken.
The finger snapping, neck waving,
That's what's up.
ghetto ass, I fight a bitch anytime. I love fried chicken and all this bullshit.
If you understand the way she's portrayed is she's always extra hungry when she's on with a white host. She's it's that stereotype that the black woman is lascivious and loose and she doesn't respect herself and she wants to be a bed wench. This is where her and Lonnie Love and all you self-proclaimed successful Negroes get lumped in.
Serena Williams.
Serena's thicker than cold oatmeal, but who cares now? Right? Like you've been violated. Now I'm not one to talk because I went to school in North Dakota, so I don't have to extend on that.
Nah.
So anybody that knows Kevin from North Dakota, call in.
Please don't. I will hang up on you.
Hey, so
Becky, you better not call here.
So,
with that bullshit.
should I still feel bad about liking the way Serena looked?
No.
Okay.
Just don't listen to nothing she
I
said.
have to start questioning myself. I said, I think I'm still a little sick.
One more thing before we go.
What's that, brother?
The royal couple.
Now they leaving. They stepping away from
now that bitch making that nigga do that shit. Now his family mad at that. She want to come to America with the niggas at
They finna
and
move
be
to
around
Detroit.
Tiffany type of shit.
Right, and the Kardashians.
You done fucked up this man's life.
All right. He fucked his whole life.
If you think they didn't own half of America anyway, they walk in here with their royal ass and get
You
half.
done fucked up that man's life.
Hey, the Packers are going to the playoffs, and I fuck with the Packers, but the NFL is on some bullshit.
Fuck the Packers.
The Rooney Rule means nothing. The NFL has a serious problem, and we got to hold them accountable. And I'm one of those people because
Did any black coaches get hired this week?
No, and there was no Rooney Rule because they didn't go through the right protocol. We got to talk about that Saturday night. And that's what I'm saying. I'm a football dude. Like everybody know, I roll with the
I
pack.
live for that shit.
It is what it is. We're gonna talk about that Saturday night. I want to finish up by telling y'all I thank y'all and I appreciate y'all, all the people that called in. What's up, my brother Rick Muhammad? I didn't get to shout out everybody in the chat room. People are tuning in late.
Thank you for the
go
love,
back and watch the show.
Yeah, thank you. For
We've been in here for a minute doing what we do. OJ got to get home. Bull got to get home. Jason ain't got nowhere to go, so he'll be here with me. But we're all gonna fall apart, and that's all you got to know. No need to stand on the soapbox. And I always tell people, don't let anybody define you or who you are or where you're going in life, because you made on the things they said you did, but you're not who they say you are.
Wakanda forever.
I see y'all Saturday.
Peace.
Finally, a good YouTube. Oh, it was off when I did it. Now I just got to get.
No, that shit been
No,
up.
that's YouTube.
iCloud?
No, that's YouTube. That's just the cloud.
Oh.
My wife got iCloud. Who, Beverly?
Oh, yeah. I should want to get that shit.
The show ain't off yet.
Oh, shit.
Damn,
YouTube still going. I can't.